Welcome to the Hype Attack Podcast,
where we weigh in on the latest in nerd and pop culture hype.
We are man.
We're the excited conversation we all have with our friends
about the nerdy things we love
and geek about.
We are the Hype Attack. I am the hype!
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Hype Attack. And on today's episode, we're going to be talking about zombies, walkers, chompers, rotters, biters, lame brains, hissers, deadhead, munchers, rippers, the damned, and the infected.
Yeah!
See, even the zombies are hyped.
I'm aroused and impressed.
Yeah. But as always, I'm here with Doug, Isaac, Rudy, and this is your boy Jermaine.
What's up, Jermaine?
What's up?
Hi. And hi, everybody.
And you know how it goes. We get into what we're hyped about. So let's go around the room.
Oh, me? I have a few things I'm hyped about. A couple things I watched in the whole Halloween vein. I finally finished the Netflix movie We Have a Ghost, starring Anthony Mackie and David Harbour. Meh. I wanted to bring it up just to help people. Meh. Skip it. Like you thought it was going to be a movie about a haunting, and then it turned out to be like a sort of like ET-esque thing, road trippy sort of stuff. No chemistry with any of the actors. Don't watch it. It's on Netflix. I finally finished the latest season of Only Murders in the Building. Have you guys watched any of that?
I think I'm completely caught up. What a great show.
What a fantastic show.
I have not started that yet.
Oh, man. If you guys aren't familiar with that show, it's on Hulu. It's starring Steve Martin and Martin Short and Selena Gomez. And there are other like big name actors that pop up as supporting cast, but also like some cameos from some favorites. Fun show. If you like podcasts, if you like murder podcasts, if you like old comedy like that, that's the show for you.
That's Hulu, right?
That's on Hulu.
Yeah, I think we've established where Hulu stands here.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, fuck Netflix, $23 for their premium fucking
screw.
And
then is that what it's going up to? 23?
Yeah,
the premium is going to 23. I don't know what you get with that.
You guys been keeping up with Loki season 2?
No,
I have.
No, I haven't even started.
I haven't watched today's episode, but I watched the first two.
We started watching it like the day after it came out, which was same week of the last episode of Ahsoka. I think I'm not sure. Don't quote me on it. Whatever.
I think it was a week after.
Point being is it was, even though it has to do with possibly multiverse and time travel, at the same time, like after having watched Ahsoka and like, you know, having been in the Star Wars universe, I was kind of like relieved to watch something that, like I know Star Wars, but watch something that I don't know, it felt more put together. Does that make sense?
Not really.
It like
Elaborate, please.
Huh?
I said elaborate, please.
I don't know how to put it into words. It was more familiar.
Maybe more established?
There you go, established.
Since the first season was a whole, like, the mindfuck of time travel, and like, okay, you're already in that mode. So.
And, you know what it is? And they answered questions, you know? Like, everything felt right. Like, it really knew what it was doing. Whereas like Ahsoka, where it was, like, kind of hit and miss throughout the whole thing.
I remember seeing reviews for, like, the first two episodes when they dropped for Loki season 2, and they were like, oh my God, what happened like from season 1 to season 2? This is garbage. Like, there's no direction. And I'm like, are we watching the same show?
Seriously.
Oh, yeah,
like
see, those reviews are why I haven't even like started it up.
Like it dove right back into where it left off. Like,
literally right where it left off.
And it wasn't like they didn't try to go off in a radical new direction. Like everything's progressing as not as you expect, but like, you know, as they laid it out.
I questioned those reviews to begin with because I thought the original season of Loki was supposed to be longer, but COVID shut it down.
It was like 8 episodes, 9 episodes.
Yeah, so like for them to say like it went off on some other direction, I was like, that doesn't even make sense because they already had it planned. They already this was really just an extension of what season 1 was supposed to be. It just got cut short. So
it feels like
it's good to know. Maybe I got something to watch now.
Not only does it feel like it knows what it's doing, but like to see, I don't know, just those two characters of was it Mobius and Loki, and where they are now as far as like character development. I like it, and I like how the show's treating them. So check out Loki season 2, and then lastly, the thing I'm hyped about, is that I fucking kicked all your guys' asses in Smash Brothers, and I got a goddamn trophy for it.
I backed out of that.
Yeah, me
tournament.
too.
Yeah, I wasn't in. No, I mean, I earned a spot in the finals, and I backed out because I was too lazy to.
If you guys want to try
Connecting
for a
with
trophy
controller,
at a later
yeah.
time,
I
Yeah.
completely like no, because I don't play Smash Brothers on. Because me and Jermaine have the same thing. Like in regular fighting games, normal fighting games, mainstream fighting games, we'll run you guys up against the wall.
I'm not talking about other fighting
and run a
games,
train.
Rudy. I'm talking about
But
Smash
you
Brothers.
know, Smash Brothers,
Yeah.
where it's a
They're scared.
the mashers have just as
Fucking
much.
all this
Have just as
qualifying
much
and stuff,
chance.
I still
Yeah.
won. Did I not still win?
I mean, I
As a
guess
skill
it
player,
goes
still
with
win?
like the spooky
Fuck you.
season. Those
And
two
that's
are
still win?
scared as shit.
I was afraid of Dave. David with Yoshi was impressive.
Yeah,
My
I
niece,
really don't understand why he didn't stick with Yoshi.
my niece with the piranha plant surprised the shit out of me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh fuck!
She was hanging on.
Like I said, the mashers have just as much chance as the skilled players. Like
For me, because I'm not used to playing that game like at all, I probably played it 5-6 times in my lifetime. Not saying anything. You won. Cheers. But
Fuck off.
where's my
it
button?
was for me not used to playing that game. There was so many people on the screen that I was like, "Where am I?"
Yeah.
Oh yeah, just to
Where am
put
I?
it in perspective for everyone listening, we had 7 players going.
that's a lot.
We really should have set up 8. It's just connecting that many controllers to a Switch gets complicated. You have to do things in a certain order.
All I'm saying is I'm totally open for people trying for the trophy.
Okay, all right, yeah.
Doug,
What? Oh,
What are you hyped about,
What
buddy?
am I hyped about?
hey bud, how you doing? How you doing over there?
Good.
Welcome.
I'm here.
Welcome to the Hype Attack Podcast, man.
I didn't know we were still talking about Smash Brothers. Jesus.
Sorry.
Obviously a lot like normal. There's a lot going on. There is a game that just came out today on Steam, but I'll probably wait for the PS5 version and later. It's called Laika Aged in Blood. Have you guys heard about it? It's a Metroidvania crossed with Excitebike.
the fuck.
Yeah, right. Anyone that knows old NES games, like that combination doesn't sound right, but it's really cool. It's a 2D side scroller, but you're on a motorcycle, and so like the controls are a little wonky. It's basically just like accelerate and then like pitch back or pitch forward. But you have a gun and you can like bullet time shit and like aim. You could block bullets with your motorcycle. But to reload, you have to do like flips in the air. So like it kind of forces you to like play as that like badass doing flips on the motorcycle to reload, and you like bullet time and like shoot a couple things, and like you got to pitch your motorcycle back to block a bullet. So I played the demo during Steam's Next Fest, and I really liked it. And then I saw IGN just gave it a 9 out of 10, and I've seen other great reviews for it. So like I said, it's out on Steam today, but I think I'd rather play on the PlayStation. I get some trophies and stuff like that. But
Is it like 8-bit looking or?
it's not like 8. It's modern side scrolling, so
Okay.
it's cartoony. It's got like cartoony art style.
Got it.
But as far as like polygons and stuff, I mean, it's not 3D, but you know.
I love creators coming up with not just new stuff, but also like mashing stuff together.
Yeah,
that's fun.
I'm a big fan of Metroidvania kind of games. I don't play a whole lot of them because a lot of that 2D side-scrolling modern games now just go for the really hard difficulty, which I don't mind, but sometimes it's like I don't necessarily want that challenge, and I kind of just want to get through the story and play and like experience the game. But there's been a few really good Metroidvania kind of games out there that I always like to jump on.
Cool.
Next.
Yeah. Pass it to the.
Rudy, what are you hype about?
Such an asshole.
Thank you, Rudy. Didn't have a whole lot of time to do much this last weekend. I did manage to watch a couple of movies that I hadn't seen before. Like I walked in and Doug was watching the
Porn again on the projector.
was watching a movie called Cooties.
135 inch.
He was watching a movie called Cooties, which I hadn't seen, and I saw a couple of familiar actors up there, so I went in the room and watched it. And
Zombie movie.
yeah, it wasn't like the greatest zombie movie I've ever seen, but it was entertaining. I liked it.
Yeah, that's a solid movie for what it was.
They rescheduled my concert. I was pissed about that last week, and then they added another band to it that Rachel, my wife, loves. So definitely going back. I was kind of ambivalent about it. like, yeah, fuck it. If they reschedule, whatever, they give me my money back, whatever. But we're definitely going to that. No, I'm looking forward to our little hiatus so we can get our video stuff up and running. Like, I really need to figure out some of these video editing software suites so I can get in there, edit something, and get back out. Because right now, like, I just tried to edit a video together to sync audio, and I was all thumbs. So I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? But other than that, Jermaine, what are you hyped about?
So much stuff.
All the things.
So many things. I just finished. Last week I finished it. Castlevania, the Netflix animated series, the Nocturne or whatever it's called. Yes, I love me some Castlevania. Netflix is doing an amazing job with their animated stuff.
features.
Yeah, definitely.
So
good,
they're worth a little bit of that $23. Okay,
Man.
okay.
What's coming up next?
When's Scott
Didn't
Pilgrim come out?
They didn't announce something else in that vein of like old school video game.
Oh man, what is that? Oh, I'll have to look it up.
Scott Pilgrim is next month.
You shared that thing to us, but I saw it, but I don't remember what it's called.
that came out.
Is it
The,
Laserhawk or something
Yeah,
like that?
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I believe
It's
that
from
was.
Ubisoft.
Yeah.
was it like
No, there was something else.
was it Soul Calibur? No.
Anyway,
Yeah, but anyways, it was the first season of this second arc in the story. It's definitely good, worth it if you like the first season. They already announced the season 2 because the way the first arc ended, it's they kind of leave you like on a little cliffhanger, but it's good though, but it's one of those where somebody comes in, you're like, it's about to go down. But the story, the characters, I love it. I love the world that they're building up with Castlevania, like the characters. Like it's almost like you get this new fellowship and you're moving along. Like everybody kind of has their own thing going on, to say like why they're in this fight and all that stuff. So it's getting there, like it's building up nicely. And then
1 second, sorry. While we're on the topic of Castlevania and the guys that made it, and the show that they're working on next, and you should be ashamed of yourself for not remembering.
Ready the bell.
Load it up.
Ready the bell.
Devil May Cry.
Ooh.
yeah, I just saw that. Right now.
Yeah.
I was like, how
Yeah,
the
that's
fuck
the
did
other
I
one.
not
Yeah,
remember that?
Devil May Cry.
it looked good. I mean, they've shown like a 3-second teaser or something.
Yeah,
Await your
Yeah.
punishment.
Well,
No, it's,
Hold for
it's, not, it's
punishment.
not that
Fuck.
bad.
all
It's
these
not
three
bad.
people.
They
Oh,
announced like 6 new animated shows that same day that they showed that.
Yeah, like when I loaded it up right now, there's like 4 like fucking things before Devil May Cry. I'm like, oh well, shit, there it is, buried the lead.
Shame.
Editing will fix that.
I'm my shame. But
Wait, you just mocked yourself. You can't do that.
Devil May Cry
allowed.
Do that.
and Tomb Raider,
yeah,
Oh,
there's a
that's
Tomb Raider
right,
coming
yeah.
out. Yeah, there's a lot of animated stuff coming out.
and then Captain Laserhawk.
Yeah, Captain Laserhawk looks fun. I think that launched or dropped
It might be out I don't
Today?
know.
today.
October 19th?
Nice. Sorry,
Today
hijacked
is
your
that day.
hijacked your hype.
I know.
I'm gonna hijack it a little more. When does Invincible season 2 come out?
Isn't it next?
I think that's next.
Wait,
month
is
as
it the
well.
end of this month or next month? It should be around the corner though.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's another one.
Continue.
Oh shit, it's right around the corner, November 3rd.
Yeah, it's the beginning of next month. I watched the last chapter in Insidious, The Red Door. It was okay for what it was. I liked all the other ones more. This one kind of takes place like a couple years later. The son is older, but I don't like what they did with the relationship with the father and the son, because they were so close and they were going through things in the earlier movies. Just to have them in the situation they were in the last movie, it kind of didn't feel right, but everything else that was going on, it was kind of okay, but it was just that element in the movie just with the father and the son, like their relationship kind of threw everything off just because of what came before. I get they wanted to try to do something, different. It wasn't a bad movie, but I felt it could have been better.
Yeah, that's still on my wife and I's list of movies to watch because, again,
Yeah.
I hadn't seen any of them. We just did the first one. More to come. Is that one, was it Chapter 5?
Man, I don't remember how many they have because I think the one before this might have been like the Black Key or something like that, whatever it was. But
I forget who I was talking to, but they were like, "Oh, skip this one, but watch the rest." Was it you?
no,
But there's like one that you could probably completely miss. I mean, I have to watch.
yeah,
I have to watch.
Oh no,
all
you're
of
gonna
them.
have to watch them
Yeah.
all too, because they have some recall moments. So it's one of those type of series. But yeah, that's about it. I'm just hyped for all this new stuff that's coming out. My Korean drama shows.
Oh yeah,
I'm ready.
I think I'm ready to start jumping into the Korean shows. I mean, I started watching that show Bargain, which was cool. I haven't finished that. I kind of forgot about it until just now. So thank you.
They do have a lot of good horror stuff, though.
Nice.
the,
Yeah, I bet.
It's a different pace from what you normally see in the American stuff. Definitely has a different vibe.
Because they're different people.
Did,
Like,
did
I'm
we
not
ever watch
bringing these things up. Right?
the follow up to Train to Busan?
Oh, I need to watch that.
No, I
Peninsula,
still haven't seen that
I think
one
it
yet.
was.
No, I still haven't watched that one yet.
I was sitting here like you were talking about Korean horror, and I'm like, did we ever watch that? Like we talked about it, but
Yeah.
I'm a little punch drunk right now. Sorry, guys.
Train to Busan, though, that's a good zombie movie.
It is.
That's a really good zombie movie.
Is that a zombie movie
Yeah, it's a zombie movie. There's zombies in it.
on a train?
Yeah, zombies are on a train and they're going to Busan.
So let's get this train rolling into zombies, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was like a truncated zombie scream. It's almost scarier.
I think that is my favorite zombie moan scream.
Oh, I could make
One of
better.
mine. But speaking of that Scream, that particular game, Call of Duty, I do remember when Zombie Mode came out. It was just a little thing that they did, just so you can go in there and have fun. But the expansion of everything that happened after, I got so addicted to that Zombie Mode. I damn near think most of the games that came out, I pretty much just got them just to play zombies.
Yeah.
Because it was just one of those things. It was a survival mode, and it was the fact that you can get, ranked, and you could see your ranked, against everybody. And it was just one of those things. I was like, man, I just want to get in the top 100. But it's so hard because you play with, if you don't have, somebody to play with, a group of 4, and you go in there, and it's just one of those things. Like everybody kind of, all the experts know that there's a certain strategy to the game. And if some regular goes in there and opens a doorway, you just see everybody just leave the line. Peace, we're fucking out of here.
I was with the zombie mode until that shit got so complicated story wise and like play style wise. It was like the scene in Black Dynamite where they're piecing together everything to like.
Oh yeah,
that's what the story was basically. Like now, what does the planet Mars in its third alignment have to do with the zombies' toenails? Like that's what it was. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
I didn't know.
Yeah.
It's this lore. Like
Oh, no,
they
it got
came up with some
complicated.
wild ass lore for that.
that
game.
The initial one was just that haunted house, right? And like that felt
Yeah.
cool. Like
Yeah.
it was such a cool mechanic to board up the windows, and there was that whole strategy you build up, and then eventually, you open a door.
Yeah.
But even that one, I think, ended up having so much more to it than what I originally realized. Because if you just play casually, you're just there to shoot zombies and try to survive.
Yeah.
But then I remember watching someone play, and it's like, oh wait, there's a path this way, or there's a secret thing this way,
Yeah.
or whatever. I also remember like me being proud, like I got to like level 12, like hell yeah, guys, I'm kicking ass. And it took a while to get there, and like we were all happy, and then like I think my friend's like brother or someone came over who was like 12, and he's playing, and I'm just like, hour and a half later, it's like, oh, he's on like level 52. Like, what the fuck? Like, we can't, like, he's doing all these moves, and it's like, I had no idea. Like, oh, okay.
Oh, that's one of those things. I really liked it when I don't remember if it was like the second or third one, but it was when you could kind of move and kind of create like a pathway to funnel the zombies towards you, and also when they started giving you like a little bit of perks, and you get the loot box, and you get to get different weapons. Which one was the one that you could? Oh man, it was like the like Frankenstein-ish one where you could, I guess, where you had the base, but you can teleport from one area to like another area.
I know which one you're talking about. I don't know what game it was. It was like the second or third.
When they started
iteration.
with those mechanics, like it was still kind of basic. You were just in a location and you just had to fortify yourself and defend yourself against the zombies and last as long as you can. And then they started to get into, now you need to open this door. You need to go over there and turn that switch on. I was like, nah.
I probably personally only played like the second, maybe third iteration, and I still loved it for what it was. But you're telling me it got even more complicated than that?
Oh yeah,
they got
because that's what I think what I felt was the appeal of it. Because I know it was during a time where, I don't know, zombies kind of had, as far as like a genre, had like a resurgence. You had like The Walking Dead, a bunch of other, like, I think George A. Romero is still pumping out zombie movies. And from what I remember about the mechanics of the zombie mode is that it was like you're playing like the campaign mode, regular stuff, but to have something that's kind of arcade-esque, right? Is that safe to say?
Yeah, it's co-op, which I think is... I think a lot more people are comfortable playing co-op than competitive.
So
PvP.
Like, something where it's like it's simple mechanics. There's one goal, and in a survival thing combined with zombies.
Survive.
That's fun. And the fucking zombies were scary as shit.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things though was the monkey bomb and the nuke.
Oh yeah.
When you see that nuke, you're like, oh fuck yeah.
Yeah.
When you got some of those some of those things, what did the voiceover say?
Kaboom.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that was one
I
of
just
those.
conjured that in. Surprise.
I think the zombie mode for,
That's awesome.
yeah, well done, guys.
Fucking great. Holy shit.
Well done,
Give me
sir.
my butt plug award.
Yeah. The zombie mode for Call of Duty, did that come out after Left 4 Dead? Because I want to say Left 4 Dead was the original, like, kind of survival zombie game, but which I never really played. I don't want to say never because I did eventually try it, but I didn't play back in the day because people would talk about Left 4 Dead being so good.
I never got around to that
And
one.
then I played Call of Duty Zombies, and then I've played, it's not zombie related, it's very similar, Vermintide and now Darktide, which are Warhammer based games. Darktide is 40K and Vermintide is Warhammer Fantasy. But it's the same kind of idea. You're a group of four moving through, like you have an objective and it's swarms. It's not quite like Call of Duty where you're just surviving as long as you can. There is an objective. But playing those kind of games with my friends, and it's like, oh, okay, we should finally try Left 4 Dead because that's the original kind of co-op swarmy survival game. And I couldn't do it. Left 4 Dead is way too twitchy, which is a totally valid kind of first-person shooter that a lot of people really like. But I've gotten so used to like the little bit slower FPS games, but I still wouldn't mind trying Left 4 Dead, like giving it a good honest go. But that initial was just like, whoa, this is too much.
Speaking of video games, do you guys remember, was it Dead Island or something like that, that when they dropped a trailer for that I could be wrong with the name of the game, but it was just one of those trailers that everybody was talking about it. Even Kojima retweeted,
Yeah, I think so.
and he gave it like an applause. Like, it was just the way the trailer was shot. It was magical. We'll have to look it up after this, but it was a really good trailer.
Yeah, nowadays so many trailers look amazing, and then the game comes out and it's like, oh,
Trash.
yeah.
What was the zombie game where you're playing as a cheerleader with like a chainsaw? Anybody remember
that's
that?
old school.
Yeah, that was,
man.
damn.
I think that might have been Xbox, so I probably didn't get to play it.
Chainsaw Lollipop?
Chainsaw,
Yeah.
something like that. I was about to say Chainsaw Bubblegum.
I mean, you want to go even more old school? Is Zombies Ate My Neighbor for the SNES. That was such a great game.
It's like a top view.
Yeah, top down.
Lollipop Chainsaw, sorry.
Yeah.
Lollipop
Lollipop
That
Chainsaw was
sounds
pretty
cool.
fun because it felt like it was that era of gaming where you didn't have just the one weapon. You picked it up and it would get damaged. But Left 4 Dead, you could, I think, combine, not Left 4 Dead, excuse me, Dead Island. You can combine like your weapons and really use your brain. But the storyline was meh.
What was the Xbox game where I think the first one you were in the mall and you were like that photographer? Did anyone play that? My friend Robert had an Xbox.
I didn't
I only got
dabble
to play.
I never played. I know what
Xbox.
you're talking about.
Yeah, that one was cool
The
because
guy's name was Frank or something.
yeah,
A reporter.
and you were in the mall and you had a camera, so you got points for like taking good pictures of like zombie swarms or like special zombies. But then you could also go pick up weapons throughout the mall, and it was kind of fun. Like you'd get the lawnmower and like just run over a bunch of zombies.
Sounds
Like,
so familiar.
That
that was a
called
cool zombie game.
Dead Rising.
Dead Rising.
Rising,
Yeah,
yeah.
they made a few
I do
of them,
remember
right? But yeah, there's still. I mean, you look at games like GTA or Cyberpunk 2077 or any of these games with the huge cities, like the Watch Dogs games, and it's like shocking that they haven't tried to push like, especially in the new systems, the new generation of PlayStations and the PCs to make a big open world, huge zombie survival game with the massive swarms. I mean, I know it would, to get the massive swarms that I'm thinking, it would really push, the systems. But I think we're close that we'll be able to get like a big chunk of the city with the swarms.
I do like the games that, like their little modes. I believe it's called like the Infected. You go in there and you try to survive. Like everybody's not infected at first, but then the game starts and then somebody's chosen randomly that they're infected, and then they got to go around and infect everybody else.
I have heard
and
of that.
then when you get infected, then of course you become an
Yeah.
infected, and you got to try to get everybody else.
Yeah.
Those games are pretty fun. But this is kind of random, but it's been in the back of my brain for a while. Do you remember a phone game that you used to have? Like it was an app or a game where you had to check it every so often because it used like a GPS thing, and
Oh, I tell you to run.
well, there were people around that were playing the same game, but if they were close, you had to make sure that you were paying attention to your phone because they could, infect you, and then you become an infected, and then as you're, driving around like the real world, as you're moving around, you can check your phone app, and then you can see if there's anybody else around you too.
I do remember that.
I don't remember what it was called, but I just remember it. Something like that existed.
That's cool. I think there's like a exercise app that's very similar where like we'll randomly tell you that there's zombies and you have to go for a run.
To answer your earlier question, Left 4 Dead was November 17, 2008, and the first
Call of Duty was before that.
Call of Duty was November 11th, 2008.
Oh, so about the same time.
So, yeah,
Interesting.
Close.
6 days apart.
There's some corporate espionage going.
Some synergy there, at least.
Yeah.
Zombie.
Speaking of running from zombies, I actually did a couple zombie runs back in the day, which I don't think they exist anymore. And I'm really sad. But it makes sense because I don't think they were charging nearly enough to do this because they put a lot into these runs. But it was a 5K, so 3-mile run, where they had zombie actors, full makeup, everything. Not throughout the entire course, but there would be like little patches of them. And then there was also like obstacles. So it was kind of a Tough Mudder with zombies. And it was so much fun. And I wasn't in the best of shape. So luckily I would kind of just walk in between the patches of zombies. But when you got to the patch, everyone very quickly realized, because we had flags on. We had 3 flags. And so it was like flag football. They can grab the flag. And if you lost all 3, you're dead. You never go alone into the patch. You just stand there and wait until there's a bunch of people and everyone's like, okay, you ready? We're going to go. And everyone just sprints. And like, I tell you, like, I never like sprinted harder ever. And it was kind of like, they were really good makeup and it was kind of freaky. And so, and though I'm mad and Dave gives me shit to the day, there was one zombie that was just sitting on the ground. She was like a little girl, dressed as like a little girl zombie. And Dave was ahead of me because he's faster and he ran past her. And I, I tried to juke, and she grabbed one of my flags, like somehow, like, because I think I was kind of like juking from another zombie, and like Anyway, after the race, Dave was like, "You see that zombie sitting? Like, there's no way she got any better." I was like,
Oh my gosh.
"She got me." But going back to what you were saying about the 17th door, I mean, one of the many things you were saying about the 17th door, the electrocution. One of the obstacles was to go through this house. Like they built like a quick little like pop-up house, and it was fully like smoke machine, and you had to crawl, and then they just had the wires hanging down.
Oh yeah.
And like you're trying to like shuffle, and then every once in a while like my fat ass would like lean up and like get zapped in the back. God, that hurt.
That reminds me of the 17th door.
And then as soon as like you have to climb through the window on the other side, as soon as you climb through the window, there's zombies waiting for you. So it's like you're just recovering from getting shocked because you're covered in mud and water also. So it's just like, and then you climb, and then zombies are, and you're just like, it was really fun.
I think I remember hearing about the zombie run. This was back when I was like really into zombies. Every costume for Halloween was a zombie costume.
Hell yeah.
Actually entered in a costume contest in high school. It's actually the first time that Elva, my wife, set eyes on me because she was like, "Yeah, I remember seeing a kid up there with like long hair, a missing eye, and like a gaping hole in his chest." And I was like, "That's really cool zombie makeup." And it really sucks that like these store-bought Ghostbusters motherfuckers won the contest.
Oh, fuck that.
And I stood up, I got up early just to put like all the makeup on, had a contact in the eye that I had there. It was my favorite zombie makeup that I did. And she remembers that shit. It was like,
Nice.
yeah, that's fucking sweet. That's awesome.
That is cool.
Did you know you were going to marry that zombie years later?
I did zombie makeup once, and it's kind of fun. You just get the latex on you, and you can start like I would just put it on and then kind of peel it off, and then
Yeah.
just fill that with like the fake blood and stuff.
I did the same. Yeah. So on, like I had a missing eye, but also had like some skull revealed. And then on the opposite side, I did that with the latex and some like one-ply toilet paper.
Oh, nice. Smart.
And then you just go like, take a gash and whatever. It was fun stuff. I love doing zombie makeup.
It'd be fun some Halloween if we're all not busy to like all do zombie makeup and go out.
Down.
Go somewhere. That'd be fun.
Beat the shit out of kids.
Yeah,
Take
absolutely.
candy.
Yeah, go out by
Well,
stealing
you're
candy.
like fucking like hit problem. You just be shambling. Like,
Yeah,
really
I already
character,
shamble.
dog.
Yeah, exactly.
So he would be a slow zombie. I would definitely be a runner zombie.
Yeah, we're getting into the different types. Yes, yeah.
I'll be the bloater.
Oh,
Just walking around whispering.
I'm that zombie in the second season of The Walking Dead where the guy tries to axe him, but he's like a thick forehead. And cling.
God. Before
Speaking
we
of
get,
zombies,
Just wanted to ask him a question.
No, you guys can get into it.
I was gonna say before we get into the movies, because I know there's a lot of zombie movies to talk about. Does anyone have like a real life zombie story? I know it sounds weird, but I have one.
I used to work in LA all the time, so just all those bums
Oh, jeez.
and bath salts.
Oh yeah, I wasn't even going to talk about LA, but there's certainly been sometimes you turn down the wrong street and it's The Walking Dead.
Jesus, yeah.
Yeah. But the one I have here is here in Anaheim, in the resort area. I was working,
No, go ahead.
and I could smell this guy. Well, I could smell it before I saw him, and I'm just like, "What the fuck is
So
that
he's
smell?"
not a ninja zombie.
And around comes the corner, and I don't really like making fun of homeless unless they're shitting on my work, literally. But this guy comes around the corner, and like his jaw is like hanging off, mucus and everything is like dripping out of his nose down his mouth. Like he's got like a limp. He walked by and Bill. I was just like, that's patient zero. Like this is the outbreak right here. He walked right by us. We're fucked. Whatever. Good.
I'm surprised I didn't bring this up, but last week on the way here, some unhoused person was shambling along on the sidewalk and had like he had a gaping hole that he was just like poking and prodding on his side. I was like, oh my God. I was like, what happened? I was like, that's a fucking zombie.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Zombies aren't real.
If you're walking around and you hear, you fucking turn around and run because shit's about to go down.
Yep.
I know this music.
Yeah. Real life zombies. It's weird.
So if you guys had to face zombies, what kind of zombies would you guys want to face?
Not the runners in 2003's Dawn of the Dead. Fuck
Yeah.
that
Oh
shit,
yeah.
dude.
I watched
Are
Dawn
you
of the Dead
kidding me?
yesterday.
Holy balls!
Yeah,
Like
those guys are
the what is it? The George A. Romero one. I forgot what year.
The
it came-
original Night of the Living Dead, like 1968 or something.
No, the
They
Night of
had
the
the
Living.
26 days later.
28
Oh, I
days.
still
Or
need to watch
yeah,
those.
28
yeah.
days later. And then wasn't it a Wolf World War Z.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Oh,
Blah.
I heard that book was so much better than the
Yeah, that's
movie.
what I always hear.
What do you know about the book?
My dad read it, and what he was telling me was it was just a bunch of different stories. It was like
Yeah.
a bunch of short stories.
Yeah, you're following the journalist. You're following the journalist, and he's interviewing all of these people's stories, and through their stories, you kind of get the timeline of like the beginning and then to the very end. And the way that it was all compiled, and the way that it was told through the different lenses, cultures, and cities, and everything, and it was fascinating. And when they announced that, and that's, by the way, that's Max Brooks wrote that book, which is Mel Brooks' son.
Oh,
Yeah, and he wrote the Zombie Survival Guide. Love that book. And
I remember that book.
and so when it was announced that was the movie's going to come out, I'm like, holy crap, that's amazing. And then you see the trailer. I was so extremely disappointed. I mean, hell, when you like look further into the movie, there was like some rewrites as far as the ending because they didn't know what the fuck to do with the movie.
yeah. When the setup is or the book is that style, it would be so hard to put into a movie.
I think they were afraid to. I think they could have done it because I'm not a writer. but-
Absolutely.
Oh, no, they could have done it.
They could have did it in the style of the book.
for sure could have done it. Like there's certain movies
No
where
excuses.
where I look at it and I go, damn, somebody wrote this shit. Like who thought to have it in this perspective or whatever. They absolutely could have done that book justice, and I think Hollywood just got its dick in it and turned it into what the fuck it was. I don't like World War Z, the movie.
That was a focus group movie. All the way. It was like, no, this isn't testing, so fucking we're gonna
People
do
like
it.
running zombies. We got to do that. And they like CGI. Everyone loves CGI, so let's do that. And water. Everyone loves water, so let's do like flowing zombie, a crowd of flowing zombies. Bullshit.
Oh yeah, they move
God,
like
yeah,
ants.
they
Like
did
they
that.
move. You know, they were climbing on top of each other to get over the
I do
walls. I remember when they
remember
got
that,
the
yeah.
helicopter.
I came to that in the reverse order. Like I saw the movie and then I'm like, oh, it's a book, and I read the book and I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, it's surprising as hell.
But one of my not my favorite zombie movie, but I did mention it before. But I liked Zombieland. I like
Yes.
their take on zombies. Yes, it's it's a comedic zombie movie, but part 2.
Yeah.
I had to take
Double tap.
notes. I had to take notes because they said it took place, I think, like 6 years later, but they have the name for certain zombies, and I like the names that they use. So they had Homer zombies, which are slow and dumb. They had Hawking zombies, which are partially intelligent, and they had Ninja zombies, silent and deadly. But then my favorite one was there's a certain breed of zombies that's the T-800 zombie.
I like it.
That means those are the ones that are harder to kill. You're going to waste more bullets on those. I like that concept that they came up with in that
That's
series.
fun.
So since we're talking zombie movies, I don't know if you guys know this, and I found this out on our research, but speaking of the Night of the Living Dead, 1968, that is the first depiction. 'Cause zombies existed throughout stories and history and stuff, but that was the first depiction of cannibalistic zombies that actually ate people. Well, fun fact there. There you go. Georgie Romero, thank you for that.
Yes, I do think.
It
Yeah.
was very fun.
The king
You're
of
right,
zombies.
you're right about
Georgie
Whenever I
Romero.
make a God damn it, a necro character in an RPG, my mind is necromancer. Whenever I make a necromancer, I was just shortening it to necro. So I was like, what the fuck's the full word? I name him Romero.
Love it. Nicely done. Yeah. Georgie, for short.
Yeah, I actually just watched Night of the Living Dead yesterday. It's fun.
Yeah, it's fun. They ended up redoing it in 1990, and Tom Savini directed that. And you'll know his face in Dawn of the Dead.
Cool.
He's like the biker dude who's always his goatee.
yeah.
But he's like a top dude in Hollywood back in the 70s and 80s and 90s who did a lot of like the makeup work and stuff.
The Maverick Theater in Fullerton that I like going to, they did Night of the Living Dead.
Oh, I remember seeing that
last year. And
I'm so
man,
sad I
it
missed
was
all
so
of
good.
those. Yeah. Fuck.
Yeah, I haven't got any tickets at all this year for any of their productions. I should.
You ever and also speaking of Dawn of the Dead and Georgia Romero, you ever seen the 1978 Dawn of the Dead?
I have, but it's been a while.
It's hokey as hell. All the zombies are slow. You're like, how is anybody dying? The makeup wasn't too great.
What was the one that had like the chick with like the needles in her fingers?
Oh, that was Return of the Living Dead Part 3.
Okay.
Yeah. Look, by the way, speaking of horny, I looked up the images of that one. She has like, the needles in her fingers and glass in her face and like extra nipple piercings, tits out. Hell yeah. That movie
That's why that one stuck out.
was
Well,
horny.
that's what even shocked me about the 1968 Night of the Living Dead was there was like the random naked zombie.
Oh, damn. I don't
Like,
remember.
like just for a split second, they just had her walking like ass out and then tits out. And I was just like, even in the 60s, like horror films, like, was it mandatory? Oh, you're making a horror flick? Throwing the titties.
I love the gratuitous nudity back in the day. I feel like we don't get enough of that nowadays.
Absolutely not. There's no fucking way.
Petition about it.
You think about the children? Jesus.
They need to learn about Anatomy Sunday, Pop on airplane,
That's
jiggle their
fuck-
boobs, there you go.
That's grooming. Stop it.
Ew.
Everything is.
No. So yucky now. But Dawn of the Dead, going back to it, like zombies in malls. I get why people will gravitate towards malls, and that's where like all the video games that we were all talking about, like all took place in malls. But I don't think that it was like paying homage to 78's Dawn of the Dead. I think it's to pay homage to 2004's Dawn of the Dead. Did George A. Romero do that one?
No, that was Dawn of the Dead was Snyder.
Oh
Yeah.
shit!
Yeah, that
is right. And that was when I fell back in love with zombies and where I was actually fucking freaked out by zombies. Fucking running zombie. Nobody thought of that shit. Yeah, that's scary, dude. I'm glad they didn't have like the whole horde, like, fluid running thing.
Yeah. I am a big fan
Good
of
movie.
zombies, movies, or especially when you have a setup where they're in like an area that they kind of go to and they got to stay there and they got to figure out, how to get out of there.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like one of my favorite horror movies, which is Tremors. It's a guilty pleasure of a movie,
Yeah.
but just that type of setup, where people got to figure out how the hell are we going to get out of here while that threat is there, and then they also got to deal with the threat of each other because people,
Yeah.
will backstab you like crazy, especially in this type of world and all kind of crazy things.
And Snyder's Dawn of the Dead, what freaked me out was the zombie baby. You guys remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Luda, the little baby was named. You made me kill Luda.
Is that really the name of the baby?
Yeah,
I don't remember
believe
that.
that was his name. I
I
just remember.
Got really racist all of a sudden.
I was like,
I just
am
remember.
I allowed to laugh at this? Am I invited to the barbecue?
I'm not.
Upstairs, motherfucker.
Yeah,
Keep your mouth shut.
I believe that was his name.
Minorities are finished down here.
I believe that was his name. Oh no, we can look it up. But it's just a particular scene that I do remember because it's people making dumb decisions.
Yeah.
You can tell that this person is dead. I'm like, why are you trying to keep this person when you have already seen what's been happening to people? But I get it. It's the guy's baby, and he doesn't want to kill it. But yeah. But anyways, go ahead. Continue.
But that's what I think was like such a good introduction of doing that because we're in the early 2000s and we've already seen all of the zombie films in the late 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. Dude, when researching for today's episode, I was like, all right, Google, give me a list of zombie movies. And it gave me all the zombie movies, all the B movies in alphabetical order. It was too much. It was insane. So, there's the mainstream zombie movies that I was like really focusing on, the ones that really got talked about, like you remembered Return of the Living Dead. I remember seeing that as a kid. I remember seeing the first one too. And
Yeah.
what I love about zombies is like there's the different versions of it, right? The classic version is they're the reanimated dead. They can't talk, they can't speak, or excuse me, they can't talk or think. and they just want one thing. It's typically brains. And sometimes it's false of flesh. And it's the fact that it's like them in numbers, and then usually the characters involved, and you get bit, you get infected. Everyone knows zombies, and it's and things you can the stories you can create around that. And then everyone fell back in love with zombies and had their different takes on it. I know we kind of said we weren't going to talk about much of the Walking Dead.
Oh, we can.
Well, you said that. I want to bash on that shit.
Huh? Oh, the later seasons for sure. But as far as like the first couple, The Walking Dead, it
Everybody was talking about that movie.
Oh, yeah.
for fucking sure. Now there's like 5 spinoffs. and
Everyone.
I fell off of it after Rick left. I think I mentioned that before. But what The Walking Dead did was amazing as far as like zombie lore. They still stuck with like not smart zombies. They left it at that. But it was the fact that like everybody was already infected, and as soon as you die, you get reanimated. It's like, oh, that like sort of like steps it up a little bit. I don't know why, but it just does.
Yeah. All these movies, like similar to what I was saying last week about the horror movies and the Aristocrats, like it's kind of the same thing. Like there's certainly like a recipe for zombie movies, and then it's just what you sprinkle into it that can really make it stand out.
Yeah.
Because there's the ones that, to use your word, is like the formulaic, especially a lot of the B-movie zombie films, and they're fun. And that's what you watch them for. You watch them for like the silly kills and weak storyline, but it's all about what you can kind of squeeze in there, what you can do as far as special effects and gore and everything. But when you have like a more mainstream zombie flick, and it's a little more elevated, and it has a storyline, and you're like, damn, I like this because it's actually an intellectual zombie movie sometimes.
Yeah.
The one I still hadn't got around to watching is the one with Arnold Schwarzenegger. His daughter is like turning into a zombie.
Oh,
Megan.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. I watched that maybe about a month ago or
Is that
2 months ago.
Is that the premise of that? I heard of it. I didn't know it was an actual like zombie flick.
Yeah.
I
It's a zombie
forgot about
flick,
that. I think
yeah.
I did watch it, but I completely
Yeah.
forgot about it. I kind of want to rewatch it.
Like it's a slow pace of a movie, but it's one of those, like he said, the stories, pretty much already happening, and everybody's aware. But I was about to say this guy, but Arnold Schwarzenegger's character's daughter gets bit, but it's just her transition through all that stuff, and she has to go get checked, and they're working on a cure, and there's a little bit of hope there, but it's just one of those things where they got to make these decisions because there is a possibility that she might not make it, and it's just one of those kind of, it's not going into the world, like it's just almost like an in-house setup where you're just dealing with like a family going through stuff, and all their neighbors know, so you have like a timeline, like she either has to go or they got to come get her between a certain time frame, but it's just them dealing with that situation.
It's
Sort of
similar
an
to like
emotional movie.
the Alien episode that we did where I talked about how like it's like Signs, where it's just one family dealing with the aliens, or the big worldly alien thing.
Yeah.
So it's similar to like the zombie stories. Again, like that's one way to change up the recipe. One thing though, like every time I watch any of these zombie movies, you can't help but get mad at some of the cast and like the stupid decisions. Like we were talking about Dawn of the Dead, how it's like, really, there wasn't a reason for them to leave them all. I mean, maybe it was implied that they were running out of supplies and stuff like that. But it's like, I always have to remind myself watching these. It's like, yeah, if you didn't have the stupid character, there'd be no story here, right? But again, it's like all those like characters that you have to have, like the gung ho guy, the scared guy, the stupid guy, and like Dawn of the Dead is a great example of just like what ingredients can we put into this movie to make it different? It's like, oh, there's a pregnant chick, like that adds that like conflict, because that's the only way this works. Is if you actually
have like
had
a chessboard of characters that you can play with along the movie.
And if you had all like, queens or like really strong characters, and it's like, there's not much of a story there. They're going to hunker down and be fine.
Now,
they're
what
going
if-
to have the farm, and they're going to get together. And
What if you had that dumb character be the leader of the group, and it's set in England? Like you get Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah, I haven't watched it. But I need to. I
Have
meant to
you not
watch
seen
it
it at
today.
all?
No, I haven't seen. I mean, maybe a long time ago, but
What
My
a well done
heart
movie.
in her.
I know. I actually meant to watch it today, and then I got sidetracked.
That is such a well done movie because it's one of those things where it's like when the director, whoever's writing it, knows what they're doing. It's like no, like with The Walking Dead. Like no, it isn't about zombies.
Yeah.
It's about the actual storyline and the dynamic of the people.
Yeah.
Either during the whole zombie apocalypse or even before that, and how they deal with it during. And Shaun of the Dead does that extremely
all those
well.
movies.
It's fucking hilarious.
Their movies, to me, it's not on Quentin Tarantino's level, but it's, when I see those guys coming out with a movie, I'm like, I got to be there. Just like when Quentin Tarantino drops a movie, I got to go check it out.
You're talking about Simon Pegg and Nick Frost?
Yeah. When I watched their first movie, I was like, anything they come out with, I'm watching it.
Same.
So it was just one of those, and that movie delivered in every way. Oh boy,
To watch.
Edgar Wright. Directed Edgar Wright.
Yeah.
And then after that was Hot Fuzz, and after that was At World's End.
I did watch that World's End.
Yeah.
Well, side movie fact, like if you remember At World's End when you see like the fighting scene, and then you watch Scott Pilgrim, you're like, oh, they had like the same like fighting choreographer. And I had full stop. That was it.
Well, it's Edgar Wright, so
I know they were some good movies, man. But with going off of what Doug is saying about those characters and how you can kind of manipulate the story with these group of characters, but I feel like it fits so well because if you think about it, each of us, we have our own personalities, and when you go into the world, you deal with people. Some people are assholes. You bump into some some not so smart people. But
Dead in my eyes.
But I feel like, oh, did you catch that? No. Bang bang.
I saw the Jim look. You looked at the camera, looked at me.
But it's just one of those.
we're all looking at you.
I just feel like the dynamic of all those different type of characters fit so well in those type of movies because you have to have these type of characters because, like Doug mentioned, you get angry at that asshole character, and you're mad at him. But when I watch these movies with Kat too, she's like, I fucking hate this person. She says that. I'm like, that means they're doing a fucking good job.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those. I love and hate those characters at the same time.
In my Walmart kingdom, there will be no assholes. I'll be the only asshole. Because that's when I think about where I would fortify, like my particular store, but any Walmart, like that's where I head to first. Because that's just I can block all the exits, all my provisions are there. Like that's like everyone like, yo, come through. We chilling at Walmart. It's almost damn near Shaun of the Dead because he knew the Winchester.
Go to the Winchester.
That was his thing. I know Walmart. That's my thing.
Oh yeah.
Go to the
I would
W.
definitely have to go to like a Costco, Walmart, or some big old like store.
Yeah, but you and every other motherfucker.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, it makes sense for him to do it because it's like he's got the keys to stuff and he kind of knows his way around.
Oh no, yeah, he has the keys, but I'm saying, yes to, but he's saying the barricade, but I gotta go get some supplies. and I
Also,
would break out of there.
I seen you shoot a gun. I'm trusting him a little more.
He seen me shoot a gun one time, which was my first time, and I damn near got the hang of that shit hella quick.
Yeah.
Really make him feel confident there.
Give Jermaine a stick with a pointy end, and he'll hold his own.
No, just
say
give me a
something
samurai sword.
Yeah, all he needs
That's
is,
my main
all he
thing.
needs is
Let's
a
go,
sharp,
Michelle.
is a sharp object.
'Cause
And he's
that's
fucking.
my main thing.
He's the guy.
You know what?
Yo, hold the back.
Damn it.
While I'm carrying all this water.
What about
Come on,
what about like throwing axes? How you got that?
Oh, that too. Once again, I started off shitty, but then I got the hang of it.
30 minutes later, mastered.
Yeah, 30 minutes later, eaten by fucking zombies.
You act like yes. I'm gonna use the throwing axe.
Well, that's why we have the master
away.
of the throwing axe.
Axe throwing and using my bow. Sure.
Oh, hell yeah, man.
Yeah, I'm pretty good
Oh,
at the bow.
dude, me and you fortifying the spot? Hell yeah.
I know I survived longer than any of y'all. Trust. Garbage.
You've given me no illustration of skills. What would you
Man,
let
let me bring my stormtrooper target here, and I'll show you what I can
Nerds
do.
would survive, especially Star Wars fans, because like wear the stormtrooper outfit, nothing's gonna bite through it.
True.
Boom.
There is like something to that idea of like just throwing armor on. I know there's some movies that have done it. I think Walking Dead did it.
Yeah.
In the show.
No, you need that
I get
chainmail.
so
You need
mad when
that
they
sharp.
The motherfucker with his jacket wrapped in duct tape, like you ain't biting through that.
Yeah.
Like I love that idea. Like all my clothes are going to be wrapped in fucking duct tape. Like you can't.
Yeah, humans don't have.
You can't bite through
we got
that
like
shit, man.
2 sharp teeth, like right, 4 sharp teeth, but not that sharp.
Like I'm
I don't
have
know,
all
man, you get your
the
bicuspids
colorful,
and-
the colorful tapes on me and everything too. I'm like, come on, man. Bite me, I dare you. And just watch them like,
Yeah, just wear a helmet.
what the fuck? How about that?
So, exactly. Part of what makes zombies, I think, one of the more interesting villains in any form of media is the fact that your heroes, or you yourself, if you're imagining yourself in that, you have to disassociate so much. And I know, like, most of the movies touch on it eventually, where it's like someone you know becomes a zombie and you got to kill them. Like, I think that's just what makes it so much harder to watch or even to think about versus just, aliens or some other like swarmy thing.
I got no problem.
Yeah.
I got this handled because I do pest control, and I remember killing like my first mouse and my first rat, and I felt so terrible.
Yeah, but that mouse wasn't like your wife.
Even easier. But like, and I felt so terrible. But
Yeah, that was a bad first
Very
direction
yeah.
to go through.
and as time went on, you're like, okay, it's what you got to do. So as far as like maybe not like
but-
immediately, but like eventually, I think I would be the fastest at just like disassociating that.
I mean,
I
you would
guess
get jaded after
as
a
long
while.
as long as you
Two
don't
kills.
die within that time period of disassociating, right? Any stall, any like, oh, I can't do it, dead.
True.
Like, I think that,
I work well under pressure, except for the 17th door.
yeah.
Okay, that was you get tased, and it's, you get they're running
Dunk
at
you in
you.
some water.
They're running at me. See, that's
I
what
work
I'm
well
telling
under
you.
pressure
You
unless
guys
there's a
would
prod in
die,
my
bro.
ass.
You guys would die.
Unless
And
there's
I
Give me a
wouldn't even save you.
taser, and then let me get you right in the fucking side, and then see what you do.
A fat guy
Hey,
might
come over with my
shower
samurai
with
sword
me.
with your taser. And I'll show you what I can do.
You're telling me all I got to do is rub
Isaac
up
would be-
against you and you just discombobulated.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a distance enough away. Apparently, you can't throw the samurai sword at me. I'm good to go.
Oh, no. You'd be done. You'd be looking at me on the ground stupid like, why am I dying? Dead.
Realistically, though, I'm the only one here with like firearms. I mean, you have your bow and arrow, but like I got enough fucking ammunition to at least like hold down where I live in our apartment.
I think, I mean, like I said, everyone has this conversation about zombies, but we live amongst so many people. I think the infection would spread so quickly. And I mean, it's so hard to think about what you would even do. And especially like most of us have family that are close enough that we like maybe want to go check on, but like that would be so unrealistic and like unwise, but it would be hard not to.
Oh, no. The world would go up,
I think-
quickly.
Yeah.
Well, at least us here on the coast.
Yeah, it would be all like your small towns and stuff would be the only ones surviving. Like even with like fortifying a house. I mean, I guess it depends on what kind of zombies, but food supplies would go pretty quickly unless you're really prepping and you're going to eventually have to go out. And like I said, I think, I think the streets here in Orange County, LA, like all the major cities would just be so overrun so quickly and there wouldn't be much you could do.
Have you guys read the Zombie Survival Guide?
No.
Man, Max Brooks goes into some detail as far as like the infection, the spread, and all the steps of how to survive, how to like prep your food, and what your goal is in the zombie apocalypse. Are you just going to hunker down? Are you going to end up hunting and stuff like that? And a little bit of like the biology, his theory on the biology of zombies and why they like live long enough. But I think with the apartment that we live in, we would be okay. But I think after a couple of weeks, we'd have to get used to the stink because we're in an apartment. Like the smell's going to come through. Even like, I deal with whatever dead rats and dead cats and shit. And like that shit permeates. Now imagine like a whole, building of
and
dead
it's certainly
bodies.
not going to help like the psychological like damage of just being stuck somewhere.
There's that, yeah. But as far as like, gathering supplies, like I have all of those units to go through, and they're small enough to be able to kind of safely clear. My wife's a good shot. For our work, we have respirators, so I think we could, deal with the stink of going into this. I think our apartment is a good place to start. We could at least clear it out.
I would say
and
that
have a community there.
That apartment complexes probably have an advantage. I mean, unless you have a full neighborhood where like no one happens to get infected and you quickly work together. But I don't see that happening. I don't know any of my neighbors' names.
I know. I would have to bunker down for a while and just let the world take care of itself, and then I'll.
But do you have any neighbors that you can kind of trust?
No, not like that. No, not anything like that. Besides like family and friends, no, nothing on that level, like where if anything popped off, like you've, had those conversations with your neighbor, oh, you just come over here, or we got, or we'll hold this down. It would just be total chaos.
Because you guys are way too far to be like, oh, let's all hunker down. You guys are a 30-minute drive. Forget about it. You have to hit the freeways.
And then of course you run into the other problem, which is like the motif of a lot of these is that the zombies aren't the real monsters. Other fucking humans are.
Oh, no, I'm killing my wife immediately. I got to survive. You know what I mean?
Well, no, but I mean, like,
post-apocalyptic
tale.
Oh, no, but that's what I'm saying.
Your idea of, like,
I would have to bunker down.
I'm looking for that zombie with the nipple piercings. And
let everybody else.
Yeah. But your idea of, like, clearing your apartment or your idea of hunkering down could be totally wiped out by your neighbor that decides, like, I'm just going to go fucking kill everybody.
For sure.
Like, I'm going to take all their stuff.
Oh, yeah, you never know what's going to happen with
humans are the wild card.
Because you can go outside and be like, oh, I'm about to go to the store right quick. And you could just get one straight to the dome.
I would tell everybody to be afraid of my wife because she would like absolutely shoot first and ask questions later.
Oh, yeah.
She'll just go up and like stab somebody in the head and be like, they were going to be a zombie, whatever. Just making sure. I'm like, hell no.
See, but that's what I'm saying. With certain people that I know you have your gun training, whatnot, but it's still certain people that I wouldn't trust to be around because you're going to shoot first because we're in this type of situation. You're not going to hesitate. You don't have that type of training. You have weapons training. Yes, but you don't have that type of, training, to be like, let me check first before I shoot, or whatever. Like, I just think it's different, like me and Rudy always say, we would have to drive to Long Beach to kill
Trey,
our buddy Trey, because he can't be in our group because he would get us killed.
He would do something from Long Beach that would get us all killed. Like he would set into motion events that would kill all of us.
There'll be like the over-the-air broadcast of like, don't worry, anybody in Orange County, we're safe. The zombies are stuck in Long. Oh, never mind. Someone opened the gate. Excuse me, sir. Why did you open the gate? Hey, I'm Trey.
I tried to get him out of Long Beach.
Oh, man. So beyond movies, I actually just started today reading Deceased, which is DC Comics' answer to Marvel Zombies, which I never read. They did do the What If cartoon episode, I think, of the Marvel Zombies. Yeah. But Deceased it's damn good. I've only read... They've done three series so far in it. I've read the first and I started the second. And
is it like six? Was it 6
The first
issues?
one was 6 issues, and I think the later 2 are 8. And then there's some like spinoffs and stuff like that. But man, you want to talk about like just like the normal zombie conundrum, but then mix in superheroes, and wow, what a fucked up story. And I like the way that they spread it. Or it started with, Darkseid fucking with the anti-life equation as he does. And he accidentally fucked it up and created like this corrupted anti-life equation that instantly got Darkseid, and he went crazy and blew up the entire planet, not Earth, blew up Apocalypse. But then sent Cyborg back beforehand, and Cyborg showed up and infected the internet. And so people got infected with the zombie virus through looking at the anti-life equation that was on every screen. So you think about the world, like pretty much at that moment, everyone was looking at their screen.
Yep,
and
instant.
Yeah. And it was mayhem. Like,
but
no, go ahead.
Well, no, go ahead, because I got a lot to talk about.
No, you go ahead.
Oh no, you can go ahead. No,
No, go ahead.
because I was going to say this was one of the things that I mentioned earlier on. The dark side finally found the anti-life equation, but it was just because you haven't gotten too far into it. Like I can't really say much. So,
Well, I read the first 6 issues. I read the first 6, and then I started on the second part. But yeah, it was so interesting, and again, going back to that like idea of the established worlds. I guess like if I tried to read Marvel Zombies, I wouldn't maybe have gotten the impact quite as much because I don't know those characters. But just how quickly like Superman, as soon as he realized like how it was spreading, like switched to his X-ray vision, so like he wouldn't see any screens. And like just those really smart moments. And like, yeah, I guess I'm spoiling it for the listeners, but whatever. Like Batman, as soon as he realized, because not only could you get infected from looking at, but also the normal blood transfusion, like
Bites.
Bites. So as soon as Batman realized he was bitten, he like threw on a Mr. Freeze suit that he had to like slow down the infection just long enough so he can get the message out and stuff like that. I was like, I love just like how cleverly they handled some of those things, and like how quickly the League realized like the Flash, like both Flashes, Barry and Wally, they're like, you can't get infected. Like you can't go out and help because there's no way you can get infected, because then you're infecting everybody at light speed. And it's like, we were talking about how scary a running zombie is. Like imagine Speed Force zombie. So, and like even Superman, they were just like, we can't risk you, but I switched to X-ray vision and stuff, like just really well written and just such a different twist on the zombie thing.
Now, speaking of twist on zombie stuff, and going back to the movie because I don't read comics, did you guys watch The Dead Don't Die?
No.
Those with Bill Murray and Adam Driver and some other big names.
no, I don't think I've seen that.
I remember seeing the trailer for that one, but I just kind of came and went.
You should check that one out. It's definitely worth watching. It is a meta take on zombies. If you like love classic zombies, it just sort of pokes fun in it, but it's totally its own thing. Did you guys ever watch Warm Bodies?
With
I think Warm Bodies.
is that with Nicholas Holt?
Yeah.
Yes, I watched that one.
Where the zombies are kind of aware of themselves and through
Yeah, that rings
love,
a bell.
persevere.
Yeah.
Now, because I was so, in love with your old school classic zombies, when the CW show iZombie came out, I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, based off a comic book.
Right. Like a completely conscious zombie. It's, it thinks and talks just like us. It just needs brains.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I started watching it because I was like, well, I fucking love zombies. Let me check this out. I'm already hating it. And then like a couple of episodes in, I started to love it. That is a show that's worth watching. It kind of reminds me of like, well, why not just be vampires? But because vampires are more like mystical based, magic and shit like that. I like.
Doesn't she eat the brains and she can get like a glimpse of
You get glimpses
whatever
of
she's
memories.
trying to
So
solve or
it becomes a procedural
show.
show. And I like that there was a procedural zombie show that, it was happening along the side with like The Walking Dead. And if you didn't want something that was so fucking heavy, man, iZombie. It was fun. It was CW. I think they treated it right.
They did.
I do like those unique twist on zombies. Besides having the typical walkers or runners, I like that, but I also like the twist of when you have, let's say, like Resident Evil. There's so many different versions of zombies in that game. So many different experiments going on, so many creatures. Even though we wouldn't call them zombies, but in The Last of Us,
Oh yeah, close enough.
I just like the creative designs and ways that they come up with different ideas on what this zombie can do, and what this one can do. This one vomits, or this one eats you. This one's a runner, or this one a big giant creature that can crawl on walls. I like all those.
I think that's my favorite feature of like the modern zombie, the different takes where you have your base zombie and then all of a sudden there's mutations, and just like they all do different things and they're all specialized or whatever.
Well, The Last of Us is even scarier because it's based off of shit that's actually happening in the animal kingdom that they touch upon if you watch the show.
Yeah, I was gonna say like that's probably the closest we can get to something that could possibly actually happen.
It makes it freakier. And I like the way that they handle that shit.
Was there one a story or something that was based off like the mad cow disease or something like that? Or
Maybe.
Wasn't
I
that
don't
Zombie
remember.
Land?
Yeah,
Oh,
I think that might have
maybe-
been Zombieland.
yeah, maybe it was that one.
That is kind of the fun. Is
first
just
one.
with like how all these different movies and all these different things have come up with like how the infection started. I think Romero's Night of the Living Dead was a satellite that they had sent around like Venus. They had to blow up as it was coming back because it had some weird radiation to it.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
And I think there's been a few things that have done like it came from space and then like the
Robert
mad cow.
Kirkman. He finally say years after that it was like a space spore or something like
For
that.
what?
Robert Kirkman for The Walking Dead.
Oh, really?
Oh.
I heard it. I haven't read the entire comic book series, but they never really get into the origin of the zombie, and it was after everything was said and done.
Yeah, because they didn't really need to.
Yeah. Oh no, you don't need to.
No.
But some fan asked him at a convention or something like that. Where did the zombie disease come from? And he just said it was a space spore. So that was kind of interesting.
I'll look into that one.
Yeah, it is fun because like you said, a lot of times you don't really need to explain where something comes from, but it's always interesting when it's something creative or whatever.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And if you've watched The Walking Dead, I love that the first season you think that it's going to be that type of show where we got to go to the CDC, we have to find a cure, we have to know about this thing, and that's what you think it's going to be about. And spoiler alert, at the end of that, the scientist is like, no, we don't know anything about this. So you're all fucked. So it's like now you can sort of like forget about that
Oh, yeah,
and then
you just
focus on the
get
zombie
into all
apocalypse itself.
Exactly.
Did you guys watch, I think, Snyder's Army of the Dead?
Ha, I'm just about to bring that shit up.
Yeah.
I fell asleep, not because it was boring, but
I was
it
about to
was
say.
late. It was late at
fell
night.
asleep?
And
That's
I
another
haven't
take
gotten
on
around
the
to it.
zombies, where you have like a caste system, right? It's like king zombie, king queen zombie,
Oh yeah.
right? That's how it kind of like functioned.
Yeah.
And I like how it sort of established its own little lore behind
That was like Vegas heist, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that whole
Yeah, it's like
like,
Ocean's 11.
heist / zombie flick. Like I was in for it, and it delivered. Like it wasn't the greatest zombie movie, but like I had fun the whole time.
It's worth a rewatch.
Yeah,
for
I
sure.
need to. Well, that's like the fun of. I always love that when like a genre's been around long enough, we can start getting to subgenres or a genre within the genre. And so I was really excited for that movie, especially because it was Zack Snyder and stuff. I haven't gotten around to watching it again.
That one that that I watched on Netflix, the All of Us Are Dead, which is like the high school,
Yeah, I've heard good things about that.
zombie outbreak. But like I said, there's just a kind of like a unique thing that happens within that story with the zombie virus that, it's not really, it is a spoiler, but there's a chosen few people that get infected, but they don't fully go zombie, full on zombie mode, or whatever. Like they still retain their being, but there's just this one fucking asshole that you're like, of course you would be the fucking random person that would get, this particular fucking mutation of the virus, and
Tell me.
he's just an asshole. You fucking want him to die, but it's just one of those things like where you're just watching this series, and it's good. Like I said, because it deals with the high school stuff, and everybody's there, and you have all the classmates and all that stuff, and they're just trying to move, from room to room, and they're trying to survive while all
What's
this
the
stuff is
mutation?
going on. Well, it's just one of those things like where he becomes like, you're like an aggressive person, but you can't die. So if you fall off a building and
Yeah.
you break your shit, you fucking Rubik's Cube yourself back together and you're back on the attack. And it's just one of those things. And not everybody gets that.
Yeah.
It's just one of those, you're one in a million. And it's just one of those things that kind of make the story.
That's All of Us Are Dead?
Yes.
That's fun.
Did we all watch fucking I Am Alive? It was another, I don't know if it was Korean.
Alive, or
It's the one where it's the kid.
were they in the apartment building?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that might
watch that.
just be called Alive.
You made me look it up.
Speaking of apartment building, you guys ever watch the found footage Quarantine?
Maybe. Was that zombies?
No zombies. It was
That one
Dexter's
doesn't ring a bell.
sister in that one. I don't remember a lot about it, but it was just a good mix of the whole found footage genre.
That'd be kind of
zombies.
cool.
It's a fun watch.
Yeah. Speaking of high school zombies, though, I think I mentioned before on the show is Daybreak.
Yeah. So I forgot to mention this when you
I
had
still
mentioned
need
it
to watch that
the,
one.
the first time. I was like, "Oh, I don't know if it sounds familiar," and then I was like, "Duh, I fucking loved that."
Yeah. Ferris Bueller meets zombie stuff.
Yeah.
And Ferris Bueller was actually in it as the principal.
Oh, he was. That's when somebody said Cooties. I was like, wasn't he in Cooties? But he was in that.
Yeah.
And I looked up the cast of Cooties, like Elijah Wood.
Oh, yeah.
Rainn Wilson. I was like, a solid fucking
Hashtag, yeah.
cast.
Yeah. But no, Daybreak was such a fun.
So pissed
Fun.
that they're not going to have a second season
No,
where
yeah.
it left off.
Yeah.
I like it where it left off.
Oh yeah, with what's her name?
Being a-
bitch.
Yeah. I was like, this guy's really hung up on this girl. I was like, okay, I guess it's just that show.
yeah.
And they're like, no, it isn't that show. I was like, yeah, okay, cool.
That
I was pissed off by that ending that she turned out to be a, fucking, I'm going to be queen bitch or whatever and fucking kick everyone's ass. And then pissed off even more when they canceled it. I'm like,
Yeah.
flipping table. Like, what the how you going to set up season 2 and then just
I just looked it up and how the ratings and stuff weren't that great, but like everyone I know that watched it loved it, and it's just like, what did people expect? Or like, I mean, I don't know. Like maybe the people that were watching it were expecting something else, or it probably just cost a lot.
Speaking of shows that got canceled, I feel it was too early. And speaking of like CW's iZombie, which are like the zombies that are aware they're alive, or not alive, but conscious. They're beings that are retained. Anybody watch Netflix's Santa Clarita Diet with Drew Barrymore?
Oh, Dave watched some
Yeah.
of it. I watched the bits of it.
Oh my God.
That's a good example.
Okay, what was really interesting about that show was I don't think they knew how to advertise it because it wasn't a flat out zombie show. Timothy Oliphant,
Yeah,
who's usually
amazing.
a hard ass,
Yeah.
is like, he's kind of the voice of the audience. Like short of actually looking at camera and winking, like his comedy, he's a really funny dude in real life. And his comedy hits, and just the storyline that plays out is silly. Nate Fillion pops up in that as a Sever Zombie head, and his story arc of the whole thing. I am so bummed out that show got canceled. If you've not watched that, if it's still up on Netflix, Santa Clarita Diet, give it a watch.
I guess the problem is like that and Daybreak are so niche.
That's exactly, there you go.
Like
yeah.
you're saying like, hey, look, I mean, the heist movie within the zombie movie makes sense because those are two genres that like that's generally that same audience. Like
Yeah,
you have
yeah.
teen drama or like couple drama with zombies. Like you got two like opposing genres, I think, where it's like the people that like zombies, like, well, I want zombies. I want people's
Right,
arms
right.
getting ripped off and stuff. And people that like teen stuff is like, I don't want to see zombies.
Yeah.
So it like, I guess maybe that's it. And it's a shame
Niche.
because
That's a good way to put it.
because there's so much potential. And I've said the same thing about like superhero stories where I think like there's some potential to do like some cool stories that like would be fun for a very limited group of people because people that want superhero stuff or zombie stuff want a certain thing and people that want that, like it's just a shame. Do you guys prefer the zombie stories that are like right when it's happening, like Dawn of the Dead, which I will appreciate. The two movies I watched yesterday was Dawn of the Dead and Night of the Living Dead, and both of them just started. Like, boom, here's some zombies. Do you like those stories that are like right then, or do you want the ones that are like 20 years after the fact?
So it depends because 2000 it was Snyder's 2004. Snyder's Dawn of the Dead. The way that movie started off, you wake up and then like a minute into it, it takes right the fuck off with barely any moment of like establishing the world before it. And because it's running zombies and it's like high octane adrenaline, I like the way that they did that. the middle of the movie and stuff, I think they could have worked on it, but when it's done like that, it's fun. When you have something like Shaun of the Dead, where you have to build, and it's a comedy, so you build the characters up,
Yeah.
and then you have a zombie apocalypse. That's also fun. What movie has it where it's just you're in the middle of it? Oh, like Zombieland.
Yeah.
I guess it depends how you do it.
I
Right?
Am Legend kind of did both.
Yeah, because
Right?
you always have a little.
You saw
bit
the
of some
beginning,
flash.
and then
Yeah.
eventually, like the main story was like well into it, which I think is kind of interesting. Because then, like similar to like even The Last of Us,
Yeah.
where you get to see like nature taking over the villages and the cities and all that.
I would say, if it's just a good story, I'm open to both, because I do like the setup where the world is already, gone to shit, and they're just dealing with that. So you kind of know what you're going to get. But in the beginning, when everything is happening, if you're following, a particular group, you're dealing with the world, dealing with this big issue at the same time. So you're going to see stuff. And then Walking Dead did it with The Walking Dead, and then did it with Fear of the Walking Dead. They had the zombie strain was already out in the wild in The Walking Dead, and then you had Fear of the Walking Dead was where you got to see the beginning, how
True.
everything started.
Yeah, that's a cool way to do it.
And you can play with things like that, because the zombies, of course, are going to look not like the Walking Dead zombies, so they actually still look like people. So you can see how some regular, could be like, this is just Bob, and then Bob.
And that's
just,
where my wife comes in and just starts
bites
offing
him.
everybody that's walking. As far as movies, I feel like there was this maybe probably like decade where we started to get a little fatigued over zombies, and then when movies like Army of the Dead came out, or Zombieland, it was like no, this is a zombie movie. We're not going to bore you with an origin story. Here's what it is. It's all pre-established, and now you can sort of deal with the dynamic of like implied backstory, or how the characters are now that they're sort of desensitized, jaded, and what a society would be like now in this post-apocalyptic world.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think at this point, I don't know if a movie that was just like a traditional zombie movie would work. I think it's just been done.
You're right. I don't think that it would work at all. You would have to have a really compelling story,
Yeah.
and if you were going to do that.
Yeah, at this
It's already-
point. And
it's been
I'm
done.
not a big fan of like, oh, that's just a copy of this, but like something like a zombie movie is so formulaic that if someone tried to just recreate one at this point, I'd be like, no. Like you got to do something different at this point, I think.
It all depends, because you have
Here's what you do. You throw it way back in the day. Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
That popped up on the list, and I remember when it came out, seeing that shit and going, what the fuck? And
It was just fun. It was
I really want to watch it just so I can say I watched it, but yeah.
That's all it is. It's just really fun.
I do think there's a lot of room.
Sorry, Jay.
Again, going back to the Aliens episode where I brought it up, because they did do movies like Cowboys and Aliens and stuff like that. But I think there's a lot of potential to throw zombies in like the Wild West or the Victorian
I want to see
era.
that. Yeah.
Pirates versus zombies.
That's where I think
I'd
we
just be
should-
whacking it.
I think that's where we should go. We should go to in the past, throw the zombies in back then.
Yeah.
You hear that, Hollywood?
I don't understand how Pirates versus Zombies isn't already a thing.
Yeah, like pirates roll into Tortuga to like bang some hookers and spend all the money that they got on their loot, and Tortuga's just ran over by zombies, but they want to get that fucking rum. I'm writing this right now. Let's do it, guys.
And then you have a Jack Sparrow kind of character, and he's talking to someone inside. He goes, "Well, I guess you've never been to Tortuga," and then gets eaten.
Yeah,
Writing it right now.
yeah. 'Cause
Apparently,
fuck-
there's a Pirates versus Zombies video game.
I think I played that way back in the day. Was that PS1?
No, actually, these are phone games.
Oh fuck, phone games. These
Yeah.
don't fucking count. Well, never mind.
There's
I play
Space
Marvel
Pirates.
Snap like I'm a fucking
Space
crack
Pirates and
addict,
Zombies
so.
on Steam.
Honorable mention of a movie, Planet Terror. Robert Rodriguez, right? Grindhouse. I think what I liked about that particular movie is that it knew that it was like a campy zombie movie, and it just led on like the action and the gore and girl with the machine gun leg. You know, just like absolute insanity ensues.
I'm gonna have to watch that again because I don't remember that being a zombie movie.
Planet Terror?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to remember.
Fergie?
Fergalicious?
Fergalicious. Yeah.
Sure.
She's in it.
I absolutely have to watch that again. That shit faded. I remember Death Proof more than I remember Planet Terror.
For sure.
Oh man, Death Proof. That girl's leg getting chopped off. Wow.
That's another element of the zombie movies where people have to get their limbs cut off, because there's
Stop the infection or
there's
something?
that theory
Yeah.
of, you get bit and it immediately cut it off. I don't remember what movie it is.
Well, in the Walking Dead comic, they did that.
Yeah, but it
World
was
War Z did it,
it
I
was a
think, in the
particular scene where somebody got bit and somebody out of left field immediately was like, you had no time to think. It was just one of the, and I don't remember what movie it was. That was a shocker. It was just the person didn't have time to react to like getting bit. Now your arm is already gone. I just thought it was one of the funniest, but most horrific things that you would just see your arm there and it's just gone. But I forgot what movie it was.
Shit, man. That sparks something. That's gonna be a fucking splinter in my mind until I fucking figure that shit out.
But that's the thing is like zombies have been a part of history. It's been part of our stories. I mean, the first recorded zombie, Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ.
Zombie
I
Jesus.
knew he was going to bring that up.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Before this thing was-
I dressed up as Zombie Jesus for one Easter on a dare. Okay. My sister, Pearl, whom we've met, one Easter, she goes, "Oh man, wouldn't it be funny if you like wore an Easter bunny suit?" And I go, "Wouldn't it be," because we always try to top each other in all of our darkness. I go, "Well, wouldn't it be fucking even more hilarious if I came up as Zombie Jesus?" Because every time it's Easter, I always send out a little comic from like Cyanide and Happiness, like "Happy Zombie Jesus Day." Guy came back from the dead. And we're not going to question that shit. Anyways, point being, she goes, "Do it then." I go, "No, don't dare me. Because if you do, I'm going to be Zombie Jesus." She goes, "Do it then, bitch." I was like, all right. Came over, did the makeup, came out, freaked out the kids. Kids took pictures of me. All the other parents who didn't know what the fuck was going on are very unhappy. Yeah, I posed with the whole like, I'll send you pictures.
He would do that. At
I remember
a function.
that.
Do you?
I think I was there for that.
No, you weren't. It was at my sister's house.
No, I mean
posted
like
pictures.
you came as that.
yeah. And
Yeah, you came.
I think at one of the
Lamar.
at the backyard party.
Remember
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
I remember looking at you
I
like,
got that one.
"What the fuck?" I'm like, "Oh, Zombie Jesus." No, that's clever.
And offensive. That's what I do.
I love a good play on religious things. World War Z.
What
when
was
they're
he?
when they're in
know Z.
they're in hold on, they're in Israel.
There we go. I got flagged.
Yeah. What? Okay. No. But they're escaping through the city because it's being overrun, and they have a little army unit, and they're shooting, and like one of the girls who's supposed to be leading them gets bit, and Brad Pitt just is like, I just watched this scene. That's why it's fresh.
Yeah.
And like she just like. And he's like, you're fine. You're fine. He's like grabbing the shit up. He's like, you're not gonna turn. And she's like, I'm okay, but fuck my arm. Like,
Yeah.
that was super abrupt. Like even they just like they look at each other. Like she's looking at the bite on her shit, and she's like, and he's just like.
That shit was money.
I just fucked her shit.
That shit was money.
Yeah.
If you guys like, we had a tussle with some zombies or whatever, and you come out and you have like a scrape, would you tell us?
Fuck
Oh,
no.
I'm that person that would
Try to hide it. It's just a cut.
Oh no, I would leave the group.
Yeah.
I'm
I
like,
just walk off.
I'd be like, yo, fucking get to where I got this, and like fucking just go. Because
Okay.
there's no fucking way I'm gonna put anyone through that. Like, oh, he's gonna turn it. I don't want to kill. Like, nah, fucking get out of here. Well, fucking.
I don't even think. I think I'm demented enough to. I wouldn't
I'm
have.
taking everyone out.
See, he would
with
die.
me.
Yeah, I
I would
wouldn't.
kill Isaac.
Like, check it out.
Anytime
So-
anything happens,
Right,
Isaac's
right.
dead.
But here's why you'll kill me is I wouldn't be like, oh no, and my family, and I'm gonna put them through. I go, well, I'm gonna die anyways. Who to kill first? Different, huh? No, you'd kill me first, huh, Jermaine? No, bam.
Nope.
What's that?
It would turn into a slasher film.
No, dude.
I would be so
I
dark.
wouldn't even wait for anything to happen. It was just, Isaac's in the group.
Like, I'm not trying to say like it would
He's
be
dead.
like melodrama. Like you'd be like, oh, take care of my family, and it'd be like, nah, fucking, I'm done. So, like the fucking scene from is one of the Resident Evil movies. You're gonna work for your meal and just wait in.
See,
Oh, yeah.
I feel like I would be that person if I ever got bit and it was, one of those things like where we had to do something, to get over there. I'd be like, look, I already got bit. I'll lead all these people, or I'll go get, the gate open while all these fuckers, bite me. But at the same time, I'm fucking them up before.
They're all coming with me.
Oh yeah, before I go out,
guys-
definitely.
Like we'd get in the tussle and you'd hear me just be like, well, fuck me, right? And then just walk off. I wouldn't have to explain it. It's like, oh, I got bit.
The rest of the group would be like, "Where's he going?" No, just don't.
But they're not bothering you, so you
Like
just
kicking
hear
rocks.
He's fine.
Fuck off.
Fuck right off.
Fuck right off.
Every knife stab into a zombie's head. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck right off.
It's a shame he got bit. He just killed
Where
like
did Doug go?
35.
Where did Doug go? I don't know. I just saw a zombie walk by with a butt plug on it. Had wings on it.
What was that movie we watched with man, it was Bronson when he saw that guy's gun wound and he would lift up his shirt. And
It was
like,
old.
oh,
It was an older Western movie. I don't
yeah.
remember what, but it had Charles Bronson on it. Just his delivery of that shit.
Nice.
yeah, the delivery.
Some guy was gut shot, and he's like, so what's wrong? Like he's leaning over, like, what's wrong with you? And he full lifts his shirt up, and you see the hole. He goes, oh. Like we fell out of that movie so hard.
We fucking died.
Fucking Bronson.
Oh man,
I think that's as much emotion you can get out of Bronson. Oh.
it was just
Like there was tears running down my cheek. I'm like,
no,
fuck
like
the
we
emotion
were
in that.
dead. Yeah, it deserved the Oscar. Like for that shit was fucking money.
Oh shit.
Well, hell's bells, guys.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a million zombie stuff that we didn't talk about, and I
for
can't
sure.
think of anything. And
When we come back next year
yeah,
for and revisit zombies, like
We're
we have to
reanimating.
like really get into like what we would do in the zombie apocalypse,
Okay.
as opposed to arguing with each other about whose way is better.
Read the Zombie Apocalypse or the Zombie Survival Guide.
I do remember that book was like big when it
I
came
swear
out.
to God, after I read World War Z, like I think I read that one too, but I don't remember it, and I have to go. I will read it again in the 360 whatever days we have.
I was so impressed like how much detail he gave to that. The whole shit. It's really good. Give it a listen. Is that as good as Place as Any?
yeah, I think so.
All right, let's wrap it up. But don't bring us back. What's it? Do not resuscitate. They got a DNR. Do not reanimate. Guys, let us know what zombie shit that maybe we missed, or the things that you like, or what you would do in a zombie situation. Hit us up on Instagram at the Hype Attack. Douglas.
Yeah, keep the conversation going. Again, this is such an easy topic that I'm sure most of you have had the conversation with. So share it with us. Tell us, like,
What would you guys do in a zombie apocalypse?
yeah,
Let us know.
eat all the donuts.
Who would you dead first? Everybody has the one that's going to get them killed. Who would you have to take out first?
Yeah, especially out of four of us, who would survive? Who would die first, and who would survive?
Oh yeah, that'd be interesting to hear everyone's thoughts on.
Well, guys, thank you guys for listening. Remember, like, rate, review, hit the subscription bell. Check you guys out next Friday. Same hype time.
Same
Hype
channel.
Hype attack.
Huzzah!
Let's see their soul.